Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Heather Alto. I am back this week, so there are no shenanigans
It was
being
nice to
done
have the original
by Woody and Mike today.
I'll have you know that was not my idea last week.
I don't know who that guy was running the board last week.
Mm-hmm.
He has since been replaced, and you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I went back and listened. I heard what you guys did, and taking advantage of me while I'm out sick. I don't appreciate it, but I'm back today in full health and ready to roll. So, Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
And Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels of Lynchburg.
So, I don't like being sick. I don't like being out. I had like a whole day, like almost a whole week of doing nothing, and it drove me crazy. But hopefully everyone's feeling better, and we're ready to go. We got a lot of stuff coming up with the CVABC, and a lot of great events are coming up. We got our coffee talk at Chick-fil-A happening this month, so make sure you put that on your calendar. Chicken minis. You can get, just by the way, right now, you can go to Chick-fil-A, or you can order the chicken minis in like a heart-shaped tub right now.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I think you can get them. I'm not sure if you can just get them on like that one day only, but yeah, they have them in like a little heart-shaped container, so you can show your love to somebody by sending them chicken minis and in a heart-shaped container. But I will say, Valentine's is coming up, so think about that for all of you people that want to show your love for each other, and look at shopping local florists, local, if you're looking for local treats to give, chocolates or cupcakes or cookies or any of that,
And you've got lots of options for that. We actually have one in the studio today. Frosted Ridge.
We do.
And Forrest sent us some delicious looking cupcakes. I'm sitting here staring at mine going,
Frosted
do I really
Ridge
want to chomp into the microphone?
And no, I'm going to actually hear you. I don't know if y'all could hear that.
Yeah, we could.
It's blueberry. It's delicious.
Looks good.
And what I love about hers is they are gluten-free, dairy-free.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have if you have allergies to stuff, you can go to Frosted Ridge. Oh my gosh, that's delicious. Sorry guys, I'm just going to sit over here by myself and eat a cupcake.
So I also shared on my Facebook page today. So I found where my local focus started coming into focus. In 2016, I think it was, I shared a Facebook status where I went on a local radio show and was talking to the host and things about the importance of shopping local with florists, because if you go to like ftd.com or teleflor.com or different sites like that, a lot of times you're paying extra for the shopping through them, because when they send the order to a florist, they reduce the price by up to 30%, sometimes up to 50%. So if you just want to, shopping local is great. It supports the community, things like that. But also for me that I don't like to spend money I don't have to have. If I spend, $75 on flowers going to my Valentine, I want to make sure that they get $75 worth of flowers and not, $45 worth of flowers or something like that. So make sure that you reach out to a florist that has a brick and mortar in this area. There's plenty in Forest, Amherst, Lynchburg, all over the place. So lots of options to choose from.
Jewelers, all the good things. So if you want to give, piece of bling to your loved one.
Give the bling for Valentine.
In restaurants.
Yeah.
Check out the local restaurants. There's lots of great ones.
And guys, listen, today is the day to call and make your reservation, not the morning of Valentine's.
For the last couple of years, and I haven't done it yet, so maybe I might be too late, but I've actually done the dinner to go from Purple Door.
Yeah.
And I love it. We don't go out to eat. We just sit at home and eat, but it's so nice sometimes not to be crowded by a ton of people.
Yeah. And Purple Door made the news recently because they merged with Simply Vanilla Cheesecake.
Yeah.
So that should be an exciting collaboration there.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how that's going to, work out. So we also have our annual business dinner coming up.
Exciting.
February 22nd. And we are basically sold out. So
nice.
If you did not get your ticket, I'm sorry. We have a very few left, but those are kind of on a hold status. So,
okay. So, Woody, I hope you got your ticket.
He did not. Whatever.
What? Excuse me? What?
No, Woody isn't coming.
So.
I ought to make him come and just video it, just so he has to be there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Man, that night, yeah.
But we actually...
He's like, yeah, no, I'm somewhere else that night. What night is it again?
I got the
It's Thursday, February 22nd.
Yeah, he said he has
man,
plans that night. Yeah.
That's a tricky night.
So
I'll
That's-
check the calendar and get back with you.
that's when his
Yeah, I'm sure
UGA
you
club.
will.
That's when his UGA club meets, so he can't make it out.
Huh. Well, we do have one of our nominees, though, with us in the studio today. And I'm really excited to speak with her. Sorry, I've got this big thing of paper towels in my face. I can't even see her over here. Sorry about that. And so I'm really excited to talk with her. And I got to go pick it up, but I'm actually getting one of my dresses. I think I'm going to wear it to my Galentine's dinner next week. It's really pretty and pink and shiny, and I'm excited for it. But I've got Preventa Garland in here. How are you?
Great. How are you?
And she owns, and I'm gonna probably butcher it, even though she already told me how to say it. Pradasi.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Look at me. Pradasi Designs.
Pradasi Designs.
And they are located in River Ridge Mall.
Yes.
So
And they have a lot of great items. Like we went in there, and I also want to thank you. A lot of people might know this, but you donated some. You had some ornaments that had some veteran things on it, and we did a tree for Ametis Hospice, and I partnered and did a tree for the Veterans Department on Lakeside Drive. And you were very generous. And when you heard what we were doing, because I told you, you do some laser engraved things and different things like that. So I was telling you about how I kind of do that as like a hobby thing as well. Or not as well, but I do it as a hobby. You do it as a business. And you very generously just donated the ornaments that you had left that had some veteran things on it, and thanking them for their service, things like that. And so we were able to donate that to
Wonderful.
Lakeside Drive, and it was a fantastic thing. So thank you
Oh, you're welcome.
for that. It's always great. We talk about how local businesses give back to the community more than big box stores and national retailers and things like that. And that's a prime example of it right there, because you were like, here, take everything I have. Like, very generous, and we greatly appreciate the effort that you added to
Thank you.
our efforts. So, yeah. But that was fantastic. But yeah, you've got some great things in the store.
Thank you so much. You should
And
see.
you've got a combination. You tell us kind of what's in your store, because I would probably mess it up and get it wrong. So tell me about your store and kind of how you got started, because you got started kind of like the idea came around and you thought, I think I want to open a retail space. And then if I remember correctly, it all happened kind of quickly.
Very quickly. So I started 3 years ago, and started literally in a room in my house, then moved into 80% of our basement, took over my husband's man cave and all that.
Yeah.
And we were doing events and craft shows and so on and so forth. And then I was set to do an event in December at the mall, a very vendor rich Christmas.
Okay.
I went in there with Megan and Bruce of Johnson Events, and ended up talking to one of the business office people in the mall, Devin Burke. And I told him, I said, hey, I'm thinking of doing a cart. And he goes, well, how about a store? And I thought, oh, my Lord. Prayed on it. Certain things had to fall into place. And literally within a week and a half, we opened the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had a ribbon cutting that day, had a great turnout for that.
Amazing. And we have been steamrolling ever since. So basically the store covers tumblers, sublimation and laser engraved, epoxied. We do wood ornaments like we talked about before.
Right.
I do pens, charms, numerous things. I do holiday themed items. Like right now for Valentine's, we have tic-tac-toes and Valentine gnomes that are put together and stand about 2 to 4 feet tall, just as decoration purposes.
Yeah.
We've got some couple tokens and so on and so forth. I've got tiered tray sets. All of those are engraved, hand painted, cut, lasered, and obviously being in the mall, we ended up opening a boutique aspect of it as well. So we have little boys, little girls. We carry them up until 5 and 6T clothing.
Okay.
Starting at 6 months. And then we've got adult clothing. We carry can jeans. I don't do Judy Blues, but we've got the IMAP jeans. We've got a variety of things, and we have evening dresses too. But the store specializes mostly in boho Western wear. So that's something different for me because I loved it. But again, there's not a lot of boutique stores that offers that. We see it with Western Ways, but we tried to be something different. So yeah, that's what we do.
I love all because, my daughter loves like the cow print stuff. And every time I come in your store, you see that kind of the cow print and unique. It's very unique to
It is.
our area.
And it's hysterical because when we first started, I had one cow print rug at the front of the entrance. And on Christmas Eve, my girl calls me and she goes, "There's a man here and he really wants to buy this rug." And I'm like, "But it's dirty. I'll order him one. He doesn't even have to, And he ended up leaving the store that night with my rug.
Okay.
So ever since then, I put rugs into the store and they sell like crazy.
Yeah.
And the blankets are like the thing now. So yeah.
Yeah, as a household with like 4,500 blankets, they do sell. People like to buy blankets. I hope my wife's not listening today. I just got in trouble if she is. But
she is.
Well, come see me. I'll get you some more blankets.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, and you've got it's a cute little store, and I'll say this about the laser engrave thing. So having some experience with lasers and things like that, they're really fun to play with, but they are really hard to get right.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, because I got a Grinch ornament. I love the Grinch.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a Grinch ornament from you, and I love it. It went up, on our tree, on one of our trees this year, and it's really hard. Like I wish I could get the finished products like you have in your store, because it's such they're professional looking and great and something that like I'm like, ooh, I could make this at home, but there's no way I would get it to look the same.
Right.
So it's your stuff is really, really good and really clean and well done and things like that. And I can tell you from experience, that's really hard to do. So
it is.
You can tell that you put the time in to make sure that everything is right as it goes out the door.
Yeah, I sure do. And that's my biggest thing. It's like in the crafting industry, it's like, oh, I can make this and I can make that. And we try to do everything, but it's a form of, I know I've been doing this for a while and I'm going to stick with this and I can improve it this much. I'm not going to try to make, a million different things. Now, obviously we do custom orders. So if anyone wanted to custom order an item, I will play with it first, make sure I can do it. And then I definitely say, yes, absolutely. I can, process this all through for you. So
yeah, and a lot of people don't realize how much time goes into that, because this is not something that you just take a pattern, you put it in, and boom, you go. You've got to make sure that the laser's the right percentage for the kind of wood, and different things like that. Make sure it's going to come out right. So custom orders take time, and a lot of people. We are in the age of I could go on a website and order something and it could be here in 3 days and it's fully customized. Well, those are people who are doing this mass production. Like you're not guaranteed your quality is going to be the same, all that stuff. But it's to do a custom order, especially if you're dealing with someone local, sometimes that takes a little bit of time, especially it's hard to get that stuff right unless it's something you do all the time.
Right. And the common misconception that now that we're in the mall, a lot of individuals feels like we are like a big store.
Right.
So we have like 80 of these. And it's like, no, I run a dozen. We see how it goes and we'll do another dozen. We are not a quick cookie cutter store at all. And now we've implemented our hat bar where I literally customize hats for you.
Okay.
You can either, sit there with me while I do them, or you can come back. Now that does take a bit of a process. And so, there's that as well. And not all hats are duplicated because you can custom request, but there's some that I just do and have in the store as well.
Yeah. So where do you get, we went in your store for your ribbon cutting and you had a lot of different items. It was very cool, especially knowing how quickly you kind of got started, things like that. So as a fellow crafter, I guess, where do you get some of your ideas? Like where do they come from? Because you had some very unique items and it was like, man, like as soon as I saw them, like, ooh, I want to buy that. Like, so where do you get your ideas for that appeal?
So there is a couple of crafting groups that I am in, and they're all over the country. So I kind of see what is not being currently offered with other crafters local.
Yeah.
Or if they are, how can I improve on that? So I kind of try and take ideas from other places. I also get my ideas from my clients. They'll send me something and they'll say, hey, can you do this?
Right.
So then I'll, again, I'll say, sure, let me see if I can whip it up. If I can make it work, we can go with it. And that's usually how it goes.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, one of the things when you were mentioning that a lot of the items that you have are in smaller quantities and people thinking, oh, well, you're at the mall, so you probably have a large stock. I think one of the things people don't realize is that the mall is actually becoming a hub for some of our small business owners. It's not all about the large national brands, the big box stores.
Right.
So I think that's really important, that people know that you can shop locally at, our mall here in the Lynchburg area.
Absolutely. And just to give you an idea, like outside of my store, there was KSC Designs, and she did tumblers on her cart outside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when I presented the mall with my thought process of the cart, he's like, someone's already doing that. How about a store? And at first I thought, events and so on, it's really tricky. You get there, you're supposed to be the one person, and then there's like 10 more suddenly, and you just don't know how it's going to go. I am one of those crafters who I would like, if I'm going to be exclusive at an event, great. If I'm working with others, wonderful. She is actually set to open her own boutique across the way in the mall.
Yes.
And, I think in some way I gave her some inspiration to do that. I might be patting myself on the back with that one prematurely, but we worked well together.
Mm-hmm.
She needed to take a break. I watched her booth. I needed to take a break. She kind of like kept an eye on my store. But all that to say, yes, River Ridge is becoming a shop local small business entity. And I love it. I love it because, a lot of people shop online from me. I have a Facebook group. But it's nice when someone can say, hey, I saw you at this event. I'm glad you're here now, and I don't have to wait a year for you to come back around.
Right.
Right.
So that makes it cool to me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I blame her for the reason I'm coming to get the pink dress, because I went over to talk with her about some membership stuff, and I was like, I'm going to stop in. And then there were all these dresses, and I was like, I need a dress. So anyway, that's, one of the things I wanted to also, you're up for a couple awards, I think, with us. I think it's Retail Business of the Year, and then also our Community Giving Award. And so one of the things I wanted to kind of ask about is, with the community, how are you like working in the community, or like have you done different things? The train is train's excited for your awards, actually.
Yay.
It's blowing its horn for you.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
So I love giving back to the community. There's some items that if we don't sell, I don't completely liquidate them. I take them to the Mission House clothing closet, and I donate.
Right.
I also donate to Amazing Grace Clothing Pantry, that's a local church here on Grace Street in Lynchburg. We've done the Give Back with the Veteran Ornaments. I've done work with Blake Bryant and Puzzled Events, where I did his tumblers for the 10th year anniversary event. So we always find a way to give back in the community one way or another.
That's awesome.
And I love it when stores do that. And I say that all the time, that local businesses give back to the community, almost triple what large businesses and corporations do.
And we don't always get acknowledged.
Yeah.
Not just per se myself, but some of the smaller businesses. Like, when COVID hit, Montana Plains Bakery, for example, they did a bread. They worked hand in hand with the Daily Bread to make sure that folks had bread or a hot slice of bread, so to speak, or a loaf or anything like that. So, and I know that's a lot of things that don't always get mentioned out in the world, but that's just an example of the small businesses giving back that not everybody always knows about.
Right. Yeah. And I see it all the time. And it doesn't always have to be monetarily, like you said, being able to give, even perishable food or non-perishable food and clothing and things like that are just as much needed as as money is in the community. So,
and a lot of times when businesses give, they don't really do it for the recognition, things like that.
Right.
They do it because they are part of their community and they believe in the organization. So I know, the things that we do throughout the community, not all of them are advertised on Facebook and LinkedIn and things like that. Some of them are, just because it's a good partnership, things like that. But we do what we can to support our community because we're part of the community.
Absolutely. Like even with Foster Fuels doing the coat drive.
Yeah.
I had Blake come by the house right before we went into the mall, and I was like, I have bags and bags of coats and jackets. I need you to come get them. And we made that donation on behalf of the business as well. So again, we made sure that people had something warm
Right.
Right.
because it's been kind of cold.
Yeah.
Now, stop me if I'm wrong, but I think, don't you also in your store have items or some items from other vendors
do.
that you sell as well? Okay, that's what I was thinking.
So when I first started crafting, I met this awesome family, and her name is Leanne. Okay. Leanne is the owner of Elsie Creations. It's Leanne Carter. And I met her and her father and her mother and all of them. Anyway, I actually met them in the beginning at the Appomattox Farmers Market with Laura Bryceland and her husband on Saturday mornings. So Leanne makes earrings, and I fell in love with her stuff. So when I opened the store, I said to myself, I am not going to learn to make earrings. I am not going to do it. I'm not going to put together earrings. We're just not. So I picked up the phone and I called Leanne and I said, I did something and I hope you're going to be on board with me. And she's like, oh my gosh, what did you do? I told her about the store, and instantly she was there. Her earrings are in there. She has been selling out. Now we also have a young lady who works at Mission House Coffee, and she owns Captain Jack's earrings. She's on my Instagram page, and she makes crocheted earrings. So yes, I feel the table is big enough for every crafter to share and eat from.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course I'm gonna support them.
Plus, it's good to have a variety of vendors like that because
Absolutely.
keeping up with production, especially if it's not their, that's not their only thing that they do. Things like that, it kind of takes the pressure off them to know like they're not your only person that's making earrings and things like that. And you get a lot of different designs and things like that as well. So you get a lot more variety that way as well.
Absolutely. Like right now we're doing a Valentine's, we're doing Valentine's baskets. So there's items from me in the baskets, and there's earrings from Leanne in the baskets as well. So it goes along with our entire Valentine's theme in the store. And then I also work with the local artist Christina Davis. She just did my window mural for me, and she has been doing my bigger pieces of engraving. So like right now I have the love sign in the front of my window of the store. So, I use her artwork to promote our business and her as well. So yeah. Yep.
Now, do you have an event coming up, or aside from the Valentine's? I know you and I were talking about something last time I was in the store, and I don't know if I've missed it, or maybe I'm thinking about something different, or maybe it was just we were talking about the Valentine's information.
It's Valentine's. It's basically just doing the baskets.
Okay.
The guys can come or the girls can come, and I have certain things catered to, the children, the couples. Basically, you can come make your own basket, and there's a list in the store that will tell you what you can put in the baskets and your price point. So you can choose pajamas and a blanket, or lingerie and a cup, and different things, and build your own baskets.
Love that.
And we're looking to get the weekend before Thanksgiving. We're hoping it'll be pretty busy in the store, so I'm looking to have a cookie vendor have her cookies in my store.
Wow.
I see you eyeing Mike over here.
Sheena, are you listening?
Yep.
I think she had a meeting at work today, but I will make her go back and look.
How dare her work while we're having a podcast?
How dare her work while we're having
My
a podcast?
goodness, I'm going to have to send her a
and the point of me wanting to use Nick's significant other is I have Alpha Gal, and I know there's quite a few people in the community that
very familiar with that.
Yeah. So I wanted to offer cookies in the store that everyone can eat.
Right.
It is Alpha Gal safe, and it's normal appetite safe as well. So I just didn't want to I'm only having, chocolate chip cookies, but us Alpha Gal folks can't have it kind of deal.
Right.
So yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. So, okay. So for people listening, I know we've said that you're at the mall.
Yeah.
But where are you located in the mall? Just so, people who call me and go, I can't find her. Walk in the mall.
So we are at Suite B90. This, for some of the older individuals that knows the mall, it's the old T-Mobile store that is across from Spencer's.
I say like I'm an old, like just like older. Yes,
are.
it is. It's the T-Mobile store.
You are. It's
But
fine.
yes,
So basically we are next to Sequest, right down the way from Iron and Nail Bistro, across from Spencer's. If you have passed Spencer's and hit Hot Topic, you've passed me. So yes.
yeah, it's a great location.
Thank you. Yes, it
there
is.
as well. So, I know every time that I walk past or I'm at the mall, you guys always seem to have people in the store.
Yeah,
So
there's
it's
always
great to
someone
see
in
you
there.
guys busy.
Yeah.
We actually just received yesterday our shipments of Stanley tumblers, and they were red and dark pink for Valentine's. And I'm literally down to, I think, 3 of each color. And I mean, we got a very fair quantity that came in. I mean, and it's been going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know those were highly coveted items when
Yes.
Target had them.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so go shop local and get your
Yes,
Stanleys.
come on.
Or the next 3 people that
Yeah, I think
can get in there.
I think the day that they were releasing those or talked about those or something, like every single post on my Facebook page was either pro Stanley Cup or against Stanley Cup.
Right.
So
Yeah.
why do you need that expensive a cup to drink water? Well, because I'm not going to drink it otherwise. So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's pretty fun.
I just love it because I can intake 40 ounces in one
Right.
sitting. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. I like I've got quite a few of them, but I've got them in different types too. Like I have like the little tall skinny ones and the big handle.
I like to pick on my wife because she got one. She ordered it online and she had her monogram laser engraved on it. And when it showed up, I'm like, I could have done that for you.
Right.
And she was like, well, I didn't want to wait the 6 months it would take to do it. I'm like, fair.
Oh,
Fair.
Well, I
That's fair. So
yeah.
yeah, but I like to pick on her every once in a while. So,
sorry, I just ate another bite of my cup.
and she is listening. So I'm now in trouble. But yeah, so I asked 2 questions of every guest that comes on our podcast. So talk local to me. So number 1, how long have you been part of the Central Virginia Business Coalition? I can't talk today because my mouth was full of cupcake.
It's been I want to say about 6 months, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Yeah, right around.
Yeah. And what do you think is the biggest benefit of being a member of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
Oh my gosh. Everything. So the work itself to become a business owner and to maintain your business status in the community is yours and yours itself. But being in the coalition, it's amazing. I've gone to other ribbon cuttings. I've gone to networking events. Other folks have found me through you guys. And so I think you guys are perfectly in place for individuals like myself who need that extra exposure, that extra push. Prime example, I completely forgot that I get a free billboard posting.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, my billboard's actually up right now.
Oh, good.
Lucas just told me so. Little things like that. I would never have thought on my own that, let me get a billboard today.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's worthwhile to be a part of this coalition to me.
So let me ask you another question.
Sure.
Question number 3, putting you on the spot.
Ooh, this isn't new. I've never-
So you were told your billboard was up.
Yes.
So did you do what everyone does and go and sit and wait so you could see it and try to grab a picture of it?
So no. And
Okay.
I didn't do that because on the first I had some surgery. So I literally, my son is my driver today.
Yeah.
But what we did decide is after this podcast,
You're going to go stalk it
I'm
and find it.
surely going to do so because it rotates on every 4 minutes.
And I can tell you can see a picture of it and it doesn't have the same impact. But when you're there and you see it up and you're like, oh my gosh. So Visiting Angels, of course, is, we're part of a nationwide chain of, we're a franchise system. So we're different parts. So we have TV commercials and things like that. And I see them every once in a while. I was like, oh, that's cool. We have a really cool commercial we're going to play you in a minute that I recorded last week. And, but seeing it on the billboard and seeing like, I did that, like, that's our local office that got a billboard up there. It was still like really cool, even though, Visiting Angels does marketing all over the country. Like to see our billboard was just like, oh, look at that.
Absolutely. Like even some of my own signs I make for myself around the store. It's like, oh, so this is me. But then like when I put up the black and pink sign behind our register, I'm like, that's me.
Right.
I don't know. It just does something to the heebie-jeebies on the inside.
Right.
I think the billboards are one of the things that I love that we're able to give to our members, or to, kind of
Yeah.
help them get those first couple of weeks and let them see, hey, here's what it could look like. But even, after that, the discounts we can give them to continue it if they want to, or if they just want it. It helps because I constantly hear from small businesses that they can't really afford to market because they're trying to, keep products in the store. They're, trying to pay the rent or pay the utilities.
Yeah.
And it's hard to market. Well, in that same sense, though, they need to market because in order to get people in the store or in your shop,
Absolutely.
people have to know you're there. And so, being able to offer small, even just little things that we can push out and hope that you guys see benefit from. I love being able to do that. And I think the billboards are one of those big pieces, along with like the podcast, where we can help them have a voice.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is definitely an unusual benefit because, there are a couple other podcasts and things out there, but, so I had a meeting this morning with a payroll company that wants our business, and they were like, well, I hope we're not taking up too much of your time. I said, the only thing I have to leave at 11 o'clock to go record a podcast that I do every week with a business thing. And they wanted to know all about it. We talked about that for 15 minutes. And I'm like, these guys were like in like Wichita, Kansas or something. Like they're not, local, but they were like, I'm going to go look it up and listen to it. And I'm like, great. Leave a 5-star review.
Well,
watch all the ads.
I'm not going to lie. I told River Ridge, I says, I'm doing my podcast today. And, so they're looking forward when this is over. I send them the link,
right?
And I mean, I'm not trying to plug them all per se, but that is my home. And to be honest, look, the train is tooting for me. If it wasn't for River Ridge, I probably wouldn't have been open my storefront for about another year.
Right.
Yeah, and we have quite a few members that are currently at River Ridge Mall. Like I said, Mission House Coffee. Tommy is phenomenal.
Yep.
We've worked with Tommy for a couple of years. Blue Mountain Barn, the PETA Company, Sequest is a member. Something Else Boutique, which used to be in the mall. We've worked with them. So, there are a lot of our small businesses that have either started at the mall and whether they moved or that's where they are. That like you said, that's their home. And I think that the fact that they are offering small businesses the opportunity to have a space in a high traffic area. I mean, this isn't like, just opening up a store down, the street in just a old abandoned building you found. You're in a high trafficked area and well known, and they've done a great job over the past 4 or 5 years, really regrowing that mall, because you've heard in the past where people are like, oh, I go shopping elsewhere. I don't come to the mall. Well, now I see more people saying
there are more and
we're
more
coming to
stores.
Lynchburg versus going to Charlottesville or to the other, cities.
It's funny you say that because around Christmas time, I literally had a military couple that came from Waynesboro. And they shopped in the mall. And she came in because she saw some jeans that was on one of my mannequins. When she left, what really shocked her was when I said, oh, no, we do military discounts. I do teacher discounts, and I said, I just need to see your teacher ID or your military ID, and that's it. When she left, she actually messaged me on my Facebook and she goes, I need some more stuff. Can I just order and you ship to me? Yep.
That's awesome.
And it's like, she's like, I appreciate it so much. We didn't think coming to Lynchburg from Waynesboro, we were going to find such a cute little shop. And those are the things that makes me like all giddy and excited. Because to me, I'm like, I need to make sure I buy this and they're going to like this item. And to actually have someone come in and say that they love these jeans or, that cup or, anything like that. It's amazing.
So what is your website for anyone who wants to go on and look and potentially purchase?
Sure. It is PradasiDesigns.com, and that's PradasiDesigns.com.
Perfect. Thank you for coming on with us.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to see you next week at our business awards. And I'm going to stop in and get my dress today or tomorrow so I can be blingy for my Galentine's event. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So I think we've got a quick commercial before we go to our next guest. So Woody, roll that beautiful bean footage. Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care, is now serving Lynchburg and the surrounding counties from their new location at 2201 Linghorn Road, providing our community with personal care services, including assistance with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, grocery shopping, light housekeeping, and much more. Our trained staff have to pass all of our requirements for a high standard of care, ensuring that you have a compassionate, kind, and qualified caregiver. Our office team works with you as a partner in providing care for you or your family member to make the task of starting and continuing care an easier process. At Visiting Angels, we understand that every individual is different. That's why our team of dedicated caregivers is committed to providing tailored assistance to make you happier and healthier at home. Call 434-439-4698 to learn more about our services and schedule a free in-home, no-obligation consultation. Trust Visiting Angels in Lynchburg to bring peace of mind to you and your loved ones.
America's choice in home care.
You know, you would put that in my head because when we used to see that commercial at home, like on the on the television, we'd sing the Visiting Angels song.
Everyone sings the jingle to me. You'd be if I had $1 for every time someone was like, "Oh, Visiting Angels," and then they sing the jingle, like I would have at least $2. Which isn't a lot, but it's unusual.
Well, yes. So now that's stuck in my head. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That.
And if you're listening to this podcast and you own a business and you're like, oh, hey, that's amazing. Like the Visiting Angel commercial sounded great. That guy that read it was like so professional. And you want to have a commercial on the podcast and you're part of the CVABC, you can reach out to us and we can give you information about how to make that happen.
Yes. And I mean, honestly, and Woody can kind of attest to this, we've got some good numbers. So it's a great opportunity to get people hearing your commercial and being able to, connect with you if, that's what you're looking for. So
yeah.
And these are just not hype words. We have an engaged, hyper-local audience. So use that term.
I've been called hyper before, so hyper-local.
Hyper-local.
Engaged, hyper-local audience.
Yes.
And that is valuable. So
It is. So, yeah. And they're, relatively, I say, inexpensive way to advertise through us. So, yeah, give us a call. You can reach out to me at heather@cbabc.org. And with that, I kind of think, your commercial kind of rolls in nicely with our second guest today.
Yeah,
so
it does.
I have known this fabulous woman for many years. We're going to be speaking with Linda Brake with Bedford Ride. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
It's good to see you.
It's great to see you again.
So, Linda has been on the show before. It's been a while. But I definitely think they offer such a great they're such a great asset to our community here in the Bedford area. And I constantly see people asking, or needing the services they provide and being able to say, hey, I know someone that you can go to is important. And so, just to kind of start us off, tell us what Bedford Ride does.
Well, we're a nonprofit organization that provides non-emergency medical transportation for older adults and persons with disabilities. And we transport from their home to medical facilities located in Lynchburg, Roanoke, Salem, and the surrounding areas. We do not do the Medicaid transportation because that's contracted through the Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, we wouldn't be able to absorb that.
Yeah, I found that out recently because I was like, call. I posted on somebody. So I was like, you need to reach out to Linda with Bedford Ride. And she's like, yeah, Heather, calm down. We don't do that.
And a lot of people don't realize that. But air transportation service is for people who have no other source.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we have people call our office all the time and they're like, all I really need is a ride to the doctor and things like that. And so, where we provide like weekly service. So we come the same time every week, things like that.
Yeah. It's an important service here in Bedford because if you don't have support for a ride to go to Roanoke, because most of the specialists are in either Roanoke or Lynchburg,
right, or
Salem, and if you can't drive, then you don't receive care.
And that care is needed. Like it's amazing to me when somebody's like, I'm sick, but I don't want to go to the doctor. And I'm like, that's the time to go to the doctor. And it's also the time to go to the doctor when you're not sick. Like, you need regular checkups and things like that as well. But just as important as going to the specialist and getting the care you need. And, what's the thing? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure kind of thing. So,
Exactly, because if you don't get the care, what happens? You wind up in the emergency room.
Right.
And actually, that's how Bedford Ride started.
Yeah.
Because people didn't have access to medical care.
Right.
And their conditions worsened to the point of where they were calling 911, going to
Yep.
the emergency room and tying up
valuable
emergency-
resources that
Exactly.
are for emergencies and things like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Bedford Ride, so I'm kind of familiar with it. So I'm going to ask questions like I don't know anything. Is that
That's-
fair? Okay. So Bedford Rides provides transportation to your regular well visits.
Correct.
They provide transportation to, like, if you go for a well visit and the doctor wants you to get a test or something done, they provide
Diagnostics.
transportation for
Yes.
diagnostic and
Mhm.
and things like that, and specialists. And like you
Yes.
said,
Dialysis, cancer treatments.
okay. Oh, I didn't know about dialysis. So that's
Oh, yes.
that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, I do
Dialysis.
cancer
We
treatments.
have several dialysis patients we currently transport because they require 2 to 3 times a week.
Right. Okay. And so you're, of course, the name is Bedford Rides.
Mhm.
You're located in Bedford,
Correct.
but you provide transportation to both Salem, Roanoke, and Lynchburg.
Correct.
Okay. And what's the best way? Is there a qualifying factor for people to get your services?
Yes. They need to be registered to use our service, so they would contact their office number
Okay.
and speak with Vicki Wright, who's their program coordinator, to start the registration process. Our program is part of the Central Virginia Alliance for Community Living.
Right.
So we're the transportation for Bedford County
Okay.
and the town of Bedford. So once they get registered, and what that entails, if they're 60 and over, we send the referral to our agency, and then they do a very care management does a very thorough assessment. So they may be needing other services other than transportation, maybe
Right.
meals or
Right.
or something else.
Yeah.
That our agency provides. So it's an added benefit to the individual. But it also they do the assessment to determine whether or not they have any other resources. So if you have if you're on Medicaid but you're not satisfied with their service, you still have to use the Medicaid transportation because that is
Because it's available for you. And like you
it's
said,
available.
you're a nonprofit. So
Correct.
if you could pay bills with your heart, everyone would get a ride, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just last year alone, our last fiscal year, we did over 2,500 rides.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it's growing.
Yeah.
There's a growing need. And one thing that's extremely special about our program, all of our drivers are volunteers.
That was my next question.
They're
Mhm.
and they're carefully vetted.
Yeah.
We every volunteer we do a drug screening, a background check, and a DMV record to make sure that their driving is
It's safe and up to par,
yeah,
and
up to par.
Yeah.
Yes.
no evil Knievils.
No evil. No evil.
Right.
Our insurance would not like that.
Right.
No evil Knievils, but everybody is well vetted.
Yeah.
And then we do the annual DMV checks to make sure everybody's points on their DMVs in a positive
Right.
area.
Yeah. And that's great because so if you're listening to this and you're like, I wish there was a way for me to give back to our community, because, everybody, you hear about like, oh, I love giving back to my community. But for a lot of us, especially so in my role as a business owner and marketing person, like I see a lot of opportunities that I'm able to do because of my job. But if you're retired and sitting at home and wives, if you're tired of your husband sitting on the couch all day because he's retired and you want to get him out of the house, like mention this to him. Maybe he would like it. But it's a great way to meet new people and to get out into the community and to truly give back.
Yes.
And, it's not a strenuous thing to where
No, we don't do any. Our volunteers do not manually assist
Right.
anyone.
Right.
So we also provide the vehicle, the gas, and the insurance.
Right.
So the volunteers just providing the time, and it's very, very flexible.
Yeah.
They can either drive once a week or once a month or whatever time they have available. We have some volunteers that are more comfortable driving in Roanoke than Lynchburg and
Right.
vice versa. And some just want to do the in-town rides,
Right.
which we have plenty.
Yeah.
And of course, we cover the entire county. So just say if you're a volunteer living in Forest Good would be driving patients from Forest Good.
Right. Okay.
And same way with the lake area. So
Yeah. So to steal a term Woody used earlier, hyper local. Like
hyper local.
you can serve those who are in your immediate community, or if you want, you can get out to see the big city of Roanoke. So
Yes,
yeah.
and not just an option of a short ride would just be dropping someone off at dialysis.
Right.
And we're getting more and more and more requests for dialysis treatments, and we we only have so many volunteers.
Right.
So the more volunteers that we have, the more service we can provide.
Right.
And a lot of seniors are not comfortable driving outside of Bedford.
Right.
Um,
And then there's also a lot of seniors that should not be comfortable driving and are driving. So it would be good if they got a ride.
But if you can just imagine, I'm just going to give an example of one of our patients we transport.
Yeah.
She is, and we serve under 60 as well, but she's 50 years old. She's on dialysis. She's a double amputee, and she has vision impairment.
Right.
Her husband works full time.
Right.
They have no children. How does she get to dialysis 3 times a week?
And dialysis is one of those things that you can't really just skip and you'll be okay. Like you need to go. It's important.
No.
So
No.
Yeah.
And we have another patient who's in a wheelchair. He's on oxygen, and he needs to go to dialysis 3 times a week. And what do?
Right.
The wheelchair accessible vans are very expensive. They can be upwards of $70,000-$80,000.
Right. And it's not in everybody's budget. And, so you were saying that you had some people who were amputees and in wheelchairs, things like that. So do you have the handicap accessible vans that
Yes.
Bedford Ride uses? So it's nice and easy to get people in and out.
We have 20 wheelchair accessible vans.
Wow.
And 5 cars. We serve the entire county.
Yeah.
Which, as you know, is a very large one.
It is. But I never would have thought 20. So
Yes.
I learned something new today. So yeah, that's fantastic. So it's nice and easy. Those vans are nice and easy to drive. And
yes, it's a regular minivan that has been adapted at Sunny Merriman to accommodate a wheelchair.
Amazing. That's great. So
now for those that maybe want to support Bedford Ride, what are some things? I know volunteers. Do you guys have the opportunity for people to donate to Bedford Ride as well?
Yes, absolutely. They can go to our website and make a donation. Bedford Ride does not receive any federal or state funding.
Right.
Huh?
So our funding comes, from Bedford County. We get some from Bedford County and from a little bit from the town of Bedford. But it's basically from foundations that I write grants to and community support through churches, civic organizations, and businesses.
Awesome. So that's great. How long has Bedford Rides been a program in Bedford?
It started in September 2001.
Oh,
so
wow.
we're turning 23 this year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice long time.
Yeah.
And to not get federal or state funding, it just shows the support of the community and the ability to write grants and get those and things like that, that you've managed to keep things going that long. That's great.
And I know y'all have been a part of the Smith Mountain Lake Charity Home Tour for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I don't know if hopefully y'all will be
We are
on
on
there
it this year.
You are again.
Yes.
Fabulous. Great. I know I know that they are a great support to a lot of our local nonprofits. And I'm sure as the time comes up, y'all will be looking for volunteers to help
Absolutely
show the home. Because I know you guys are responsible for finding the volunteers that do that. So that's always something too. If you're looking to volunteer, just want to spend a weekend out at the lake.
Oh, yeah.
Showing a gorgeous house around.
Oh, and it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we have a beautiful A-frame.
Oh, okay. Oh, you already know what.
Yes, I can't
Fabulous.
release everything.
Yes.
But yes, we have a fabulous A-frame. I can't wait to see it.
Okay.
That's fun.
That's awesome. Now, where is Bedford Ride located? If somebody wanted to get a hold of you guys to volunteer or to get information about potentially using the transportation.
Okay, they can call our number at 540-587-3315, or they can stop by. We're in the lower medical building at Bedford Memorial Hospital. where Dr. Buchanan's
Yes.
office used to be.
Okay.
We're located in that lower medical building.
Very cool.
Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30.
Now, another thing, and I know during COVID y'all had to stop it, and I'm not sure if y'all have been able to bring it back yet. I know, y'all's volunteers, y'all have always done like a really nice volunteer kind of celebration or
Yes.
things for them as well. So, while I know Linda's here saying, hey, we always have a need for volunteers, just know they love to recognize those volunteers as well. And so that's something too, if you're ever interested. I don't know if y'all are still doing the program, but I know y'all have requested like gift certificates or things to give away to your volunteers, which is something too small business owners in our community could do to give back.
Oh, that would be a perfect gift to celebrate our hometown heroes.
Yeah.
Because even through COVID, they were transporting these dialysis patients, cancer patients, and critical need patients. And, we got the PPE for them, and they're the most amazing people. I'll be with the program next month. It'll be my 20th year
Wow.
with Bedford Rod, and it means so much to me because I live in Bedford, and
Right.
I live out in the county, and I can just imagine, if I was incapacitated and couldn't drive, I would have this type of service available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially for the dialysis, because even if someone's, able to drive some, dialysis wears you out. Like,
Yes.
people are always exhausted afterwards. It's not a good idea to drive after. So, I think that's it's a great resource. We always share information about it. And it's so great what you guys do.
And it's also respite for the caregiver.
Yeah.
Right.
And you may have touched on this already, but I'm going to bring it up one more time, whether you have or you haven't. I think it's important too, like to note as a volunteer, if you pick someone up and have to take them to dialysis, you are not required to sit there the entire time they are doing the dialysis. They can have someone else come pick you and bring you back.
That's correct. That's considered 2 trips.
Yeah. So I just, if you're sitting there thinking like, I just don't have the time to sit all day.
Right.
I just want to reiterate that you don't have to. You just give a little bit of your time. And it means a lot to the people that
and you can have a huge impact on your community. And especially with, our seniors and veterans and things like that. Like it's important to give back and to recognize what's been, what they've done for our community throughout their life.
Absolutely.
Yep. I think another, we talk about all the time about, businesses and local business and members in our community that are part of the CVBC and how, they feel like family and things like that. And, I think one of the things I love about the most about a lot of our members is if you are listening, whether you're listening here on the podcast or you're talking to them in person, is just, how much pride they have in what they do and how much passion they have for their business or the business that they're working with and presenting. And Linda is one of those people. Like I said, I've known her for many years now. And, every time I talk to her, you always get this genuine sense of just how much you care about those that you're transporting and the service that you're providing to our community. So, I just want to say thank you for all that you do to keep this going and keeping this service in our area.
It's a labor of love.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, because I'm serving in my community. I wake up every day and how can I make things better for someone?
Yeah.
And my background is not nonprofit.
Right.
And, God kind of puts you where he needs you.
My background, it's not healthcare, but here I am. So,
and so it was a real eye opener to see that the need, because in other jobs, you just really not looking that closely at things. This makes you look a lot closer and you see the need, and it just gives you such a reward to know that you've helped somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You've made somebody's life a little easier, not having to worry about how I'm going to get to the doctor or to my treatments and it's also a lot of these seniors live alone. So it's more than just a ride.
Yeah. It's also that socialization of the ride. And
exactly.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Well, I'm going to let you ask your question.
So I ask everyone who comes on the podcast 2 questions.
Ask me how long I've been.
Yeah. How long have you been a member of the CVBC's Bedford Rides?
Gosh, quite a few years.
Okay.
I don't know the exact.
Well, she's been a member of the CVABC probably as long as I have been working there. I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
so. 6 years
Yes.
ish. Yeah.
Yes, that sounds.
And what do you think is the greatest benefit to being a member of the Central Virginia Business Coalition?
Y'all are like family, even through the emails. You just connect everybody.
Yeah.
I enjoy reading the emails we get with upcoming ribbon cuttings. I have a busy schedule, so a lot of times I can't
Right.
participate in those. But just seeing all the new businesses, I mean, Heather does a great job. She's just done a fabulous job with running CVBAC.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you check out, is there a website for Bedford Ride or something they can go?
Yes, Bedford Ride CVACL.org. Excuse me.
Yes. And you just mentioned real quick, I'll make this CVACL is another one of our nominees for Nonprofit of the Year this year,
Oh.
which Bedford Ride falls under.
Right.
So just wanted to throw that quick shout out as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on with us, Linda. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
And Woody's telling us we need to be quiet.
I know. I guess we
Shut
won't
up.
see anybody till next week now.
So, yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in to Talk Local to Me. Definitely check out all of the businesses that were on today and the rest of our local businesses. Shop local for Valentine's Day. You can find that information out at
CVAVC.org.